shortly. Good evening, Subramanian sir. Good evening. I welcome you to the webinar.
Good evening, ma'am.
Dear participants, this is to inform you that whatever, please check that whatever device you're connected to for today's webinar, kindly access the chat window from the same. I repeat that the chat window is an important mechanism through which we all will be communicating during this webinar. So any questions you will be having, you can write it on the chat window. I shall be facilitating the same by asking those questions, but at the end of the session. I also request, dear participants, that we will be sharing a feedback form link on the chat window for automated generation of the certificate of participation for today's session. So, dear participants, please ensure that you are connected with us till the last of this session and you own yourself a certificate of participation of this session despite increasing your knowledge. Very good evening, dear participants. I welcome you all, the panelists and the participants who are connected with us, who has taken time for us. It is pleasure to get connected with you all. I welcome you all for today's session on the topic the art of drone technologies. Our expert for today's session is Mr. Y. Muhammad Sirajuddin sir. Sir has joined us. We'll be beginning shortly. This is for your information, dear participants, that the recorded video of this session shall be made available on our YouTube channel at the earliest possible by the end of this session. The details of our YouTube channel will be shared on the chat window. Further, I would like to request you that please ensure that whatever device you are connected with, you can access your chat window. Dear participants, chat window is an important mechanism where all the information related to the webinar or the feedback form link will be shared. Moreover, chat window is an important mechanism wherein we'll be communicating. So any questions you will be having during the webinar, you can put it on the chat window. I shall be facilitating the same by asking those questions to our expert, but at the end of this session. Thank you for connecting with us, dear panelists and the participants. It is our pleasure to connect with you all. I welcome you all for today's webinar on the topic, the art of drone technology. We'll be beginning with the webinar shortly. This is for your information, dear participants, that please ensure whatever device you are connected with, you can access your chat window for the same. I repeat, chat window is an important mechanism from which we'll be communicating during the webinar. So any questions you will be having, you can write us on the chat window. I shall be facilitating the same by asking those questions, but at the end of this session. I also request, dear participants, that we will be sharing all the related information on the chat window. So please ensure that you can access the chat window. Dear participants, the feedback form link will also be shared on the chat window. By filling that feedback form, there you can ensure the automated generation of your certificate of participation for today's session. So, dear participants, please ensure that you're connected with us till the last of this session and you own yourself a certificate of participation for this session, despite increasing your knowledge. Dear participants, a very warm good evening, a very pleasant evening to all the panelists and participants connected with us. I can see I am having doubts related to the feedback. Yes, the feedback, the certificate will be issued to you at the end of this session, and a feedback form link will be shared on the chat window during the webinar. Please, at the end of the webinar, you are requested to fill that feedback form to ensure the smooth generation of your certificate. The certificate for the webinar will be issued at the end of this session. For receiving the certificate, you have to fill a feedback form, which for the link of the same will be shared on the chat window. A very pleasant evening to all the panelists and participants connected with us. It is a pleasure to connect with you all. I welcome you all for today's webinar on the topic, The Art of Drone Technologies. Our expert for today's session is Mr. Y. Muhammad Sirajuddin, sir. Sir has already joined us. We will be beginning soon. This is for your information, dear participants, that the recorded video for this session shall be available on our YouTube channel at the earliest by the end of this session. The details of our YouTube channel will be shared on the chat window. Further, I would like to request you that you can ensure that you can access your chat window. I repeat, I would like to request you to please ensure that you can access your chat window, as chat window is an important mechanism through which we'll be communicating during this webinar. So any questions you will be having during the webinar, you can write us on the chat window. I shall be facilitating the same by asking those questions, but at the end of this session. I also request, dear participants, that we will be sharing a feedback form link on the chat window for automated generation of certificate of participation. By filling up that feedback form, a certificate will automatically be generated for your participation for today's webinar. Kindly ensure that you are connected with us till the last of this session and you own yourself a certificate of participation despite increasing your knowledge. A very pleasant evening to all the panelists and participants connected with us. It is a pleasure to connect with you all. I welcome you all for today's session on the topic, The Art of Drone Technologies. Our expert for today's session is Mr. Y. Muhammad Sirajuddin, sir. Sir has already joined us. We will be beginning soon. This is for your information, dear participants, that the recorded video for this session will be available on our YouTube channel at the earliest by the end of this session. A very pleasant evening to all the panelists and participants connected with us. It is a pleasure to connect with you all. I welcome you all for today's session on the topic, The Art of Drone Technologies. Our expert for today's session is Y. Muhammad Sirajuddin, sir. Sir has already joined us. We will be beginning soon. This is for your information, dear participants, that you are requested to kindly ensure that whatever device you are connected with for today's webinar, you have to ensure that whatever device you are connected with for today's webinar, you have to ensure that you can access your chat window for the same. I repeat, the chat window is an important mechanism through which we all will be communicating during the webinar. So any questions you will be having, you can write us on the chat window. You can find the chat window on the right side of your windows. A very pleasant evening to all the panelists and participants connected with us. It is our pleasure to connect with you all. I welcome you all for today's session on the topic The Art of Drone Technologies. Our expert for today's session is Mr. Y. Mohammad Sirajuddin sir. Our expert has joined us. We'll be starting soon. This is for your information, dear participants, that the recorded video of this session shall be made available on our YouTube channel at the earliest by the end of this session. The details of our YouTube channel will be shared on the chat window. Further, I would like to request you that please ensure whatever device you are connected with, you can access your chat window. Good evening, Huda sir.
Good evening,
I welcome
everyone.
you
Good
for
evening,
today's
Aishi, and
webinar.
good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Sirajuddin. How are you?
Good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
Good to have you, and most welcome for the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure.
Dear participants, this is for your information that the recorded video of this session shall be made available on our YouTube channel at the earliest by the end of this session. The details of our YouTube channel will be shared on the chat window. Kindly ensure that you can access the chat window. Also, a feedback form link will be shared on the chat window for the automated generation of certificate of participation for today's session. Kindly ensure that you are connected with us till the last of this session and you own yourself a certificate of participation despite increasing your knowledge. A very pleasant evening to all the panelists and participants connected with us. It is our pleasure to connect with you all. I welcome you all for today's session on the topic The Art of Drone Technologies. Our expert for today's session is Mr. Y. Mohammad Sirajuddin sir. Sir has already joined us. We'll be starting shortly. Dear participants, I request you that whatever device you are connected with, kindly ensure that you can access the chat window for the same, as chat window is an important mechanism through which we all will be communicating during this webinar. I request, dear participants, I repeat, kindly ensure that you can access your chat window as all the important information would be shared on the chat window. It is the only mechanism through which we will be communicating during this webinar. So any questions you will be having, you can write us on the chat window. I shall be facilitating the same by asking those questions, but at the end of this session. Also, dear participants, we will be sharing a feedback form link on the chat window for automated generation of the certificate of participation for today's session. Dear participants, you can write to us about your information on the chat window, your name, your organization. For good networking, you may enter your details on the chat window. Good evening, Subrata sir. I welcome you today for today's webinar. Very pleasant evening to you, sir.
Okay. I am visible as well as audible, definitely.
Good evening, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
A very pleasant evening to all the panelists and participants connected with us. It is a pleasure to connect with you all. I welcome you all for today's session on the topic The Art of Drone Technologies. Our expert for today's session is Mr. Y. Mohammad Sirajuddin sir. Sirajuddin sir has already joined us. This is for your information, dear participants, that we'll be starting with the webinar shortly. Dear participants, This is to bring to your information recorded video of this session shall be made available on our YouTube channel at the earliest possible but by the end of this session. The details of our YouTube channel will be shared on the chat window. Further, I would like to request to kindly ensure that you can access your chat window. Dear participants, please write us your details, that is your name, your organization for good networking, and ensure that you can access your chat window. You can find the chat window on the right hand side. Kindly ensure that you smoothly access chat window, as chat window is an important mechanism through which we all will be communicating during the webinar. So any questions you will be having during the webinar, you can write us on the chat window. I shall be facilitating the same by asking those questions, but at the end of this session. Dear participants, this is also for your information that we'll be sharing a feedback form link on the chat window for automated generation of the certificate of participation for today's webinar. Dear participants, kindly ensure that you are connected with us till the last of this session and you own yourself a certificate of participation. For receiving the certificate of participation, you have to stay connected with us. You have to find the feedback form link, which will be shared on the chat window, fill up the feedback form timely and submit it. And then once you submit that feedback form, the certificate of participation will be generated to you. So maybe start, sir.
Yes, let's start, please.
Okay. So a very pleasant evening to all the distinguished panelists and participants. Bharti Vidyapeeth's Institute of Computer Applications and Management, in association with Computer Science Chapter of IEEE Delhi Section, Consultants Network Affinity Group of IEEE Delhi Section, Life Member Affinity Group of IEEE Delhi Section, Inter-Society Relations Standing Committee of IEEE Delhi Section, Industry Relations and Site Standing Committee of IEEE Delhi Section with the associations CSI, Institute of Information Technology Professionals, IITP, ISTE Delhi Section, IETE Delhi Center, and IEEE Communication Society, Delhi Chapter as Technical Collaborator welcomes you all to the webinar on the topic, The Art of Drone Technologies. It is a moment of pride and honor to announce that we, with united hands, mark special contribution for the monumental occasion Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, an initiative to celebrate 75 years of glorious independence by organizing a better future. The webinar is an initiative for the celebration of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. A drone opens up a world that we have never seen before, like from an angel perspective. That truly is the invisible camera. Very rightly quoted by Nick Goodman. The emergence and proliferation of drone technology has inspired a vibrant response from the art world. Drone art include both work that are created using drone technology and works that in some way address or depict the drone. The latest standard of inspection embraces drones that master the art of data collection efficiently. UAV technology has encouraged industries in diverse practices. Moreover, in the past few years, we have seen massive investment in drones. Drone technology and innovation has really leaped forward in the past few years. The webinar aims to discuss and acknowledge the art of drone technologies that can be applied to enhance the intelligence and capabilities of an application. I would like to first take the opportunity to welcome amongst us our distinguished panelists for today's webinar. We are privileged to have amongst us a galaxy of experts. So firstly, I would like to welcome Professor Subrata Mukhopadhyay, Sir, Chairperson, Consultants Network Affinity Group, and former Chairperson, IEEE Delhi Section. I welcome you, sir, for today's webinar.
Thank you.
I request Professor Subrata Mukhopadhyay, sir, to commence this session with his welcome address. Please, sir.
Thank you. Warm welcome to everybody, the panelists as well as participants. The art of drone technology. Yes, I was knowing because Ayushi was talking or referring to UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle. Few years back when this name was not so prominent drone, I still remember one of my papers of about 40 years back that control was used for some UAV for some inspection, and the paper came from Iran. Actually, I was very much, I saw in the ResearchGate first this thing. I definitely made a contact. He told it was quite interesting because you made the one of the first to change that optimal control in the form of a PID realization with realistic gains and all these things. I was very happy that has been referred, and then later on, my grandson is 8 years old, stays near Los Angeles. He has got also in UAV to fly. We see through the videos what he or his father, my son, sends actually. Definitely in recent times, we have seen from a neighboring country some attack also with the help of drone. But let us think of mankind utilizing it for proper purpose, maybe something geostationary or may not be geostationary even to send the data here and there, information, making it available. And earlier we have seen application for bringing the books from the library to a remote place. But now with pandemic, we are going through ebooks and all these things. I think this type of use may not be there, but still one of the important thing is healthcare. Healthcare, definitely physically that medicine has to come. Consultancy is okay. So definitely drone can be used for that purpose. We are sure the technology behind it will be talked by Mr. Mohammad Sirajuddin Yusuf, but other aspects and applications, what has been done till now and what futuristic can be done, if he can throw some light, it will be definitely helpful for all the participants, and they can also actively participate in the thinking of future types of application for the benefit of mankind, and whatever the research direction in this future course, picture scope of work, it will be quite helpful. Over to Ritika. Not Ritika, now Ayushi is there. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. I now request Professor M.N. Huda, sir, Director, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth Institute of Computer Applications and Management, to address the participants with his inspiring words. Please, sir.
Good evening, one and all. I take the opportunity in the beginning to welcome my most valued speaker today, Mr. Sirajuddin, who first on my request of one of my friend, and now he is an extended friend to me, has readily agreed to deliver this talk on such an interesting and such an upcoming topic. So thank you so much, Mr. Sirajuddin. I also take this opportunity to pay my gratitude to all senior friends from all collaborating professional societies, and especially to Professor Subrata Mukhopadhyay, sir, who keep on encouraging us, keep on attending all programs and giving welcome address. Thank you so much, sir. My dear friends, I could say, including live streaming, close to 250 plus people are attending, 204 people are there in this meeting. And as usual, around 50, 60 people or maybe 100 people will be joining in between the talk, because we are part of the Indian tradition. I will request all the participants to always join in time because we always start in time. So I take this opportunity to welcome you all from whichever state, whichever country, from whichever domain, whichever walk of life you have joined. Thank you so much, because participants are joining from various parts of the country, and that keeps on encouraging us to organize this program week after week. This is our 66th program which we are today organizing under the banner of IEEE Delhi section and BBICAM as a weekly evening webinar series, along with the various chapters of IEEE, as well as the inter-society relations like Institution of Electronics and Telecom Engineers, Computer Society of India, IITP, and so many. My dear friends, this topic is very, very innovative because it is a drone. And when I'm talking of a drone has brought so much of changes in our day-to-day life that I always quote that changes are only constant, nothing else is constant, and we are talking of a constant phenomena of the change. So we keep on talking that change will only drive us, nothing else will. And that's how I keep on saying that इंसान घर बदलता है, लिबास बदलता है, रिश्ते बदलता है, दोस्त बदलता है, फिर भी परेशान क्यों रहता है? क्योंकि हम अपने आप को नहीं बदलते. And that's how a great poet Ghalib said that इंसान उम्र भर यही भूल करता रहा, उम्र भर यही भूल करता रहा, धूल चेहरे पे थी और मैं आईना साफ करता रहा. So the message which has been given that the technological change are happening in and around us, the entire ecosystem is changing, and drone is going to drive that change pace at a much faster pace. And that's how Professor Subrata was referring to his own paper in which his son and many other people were involved, that what next. And that's how I keep on saying people that drone offers unprecedented ability to go where human never could go before and not could have gone before. And that's how it is said that the experience perspective never seen before could be realized in day-to-day life with the help of the drones. And that's how it is said that now if you say, if you try to analyze the videos on different YouTube platforms or videos on other social media platforms, many of them are captured by drones. And not only that, even the video captured by captured for the earth, taken from the air, taken from the environment, taken from the air, are from the domain, and that gives absolutely different picture. So fantastic picture. The unmanned aerial vehicles drone has already been discussed, and I always say that possibly in coming days the drone is going to change the entire supervision, entire monitoring, entire surveillance industry. It might be possible that in coming days there may not be any inspector coming from the municipal corporation of any city to check that what is the cleanliness or hygiene condition in your area. Possibly the drone will inspect that and send an auto message to the people. Exactly in the same way you might have seen in various programs, the live streaming of the events are also happening with the domain, with the drones. And not only that, now drone has become a very popular mechanism to take live photographs. So we need to understand that what else can be done and what next can be done. And that's how I keep saying that in terms of its application, if we realize somewhere or other it's that drone applications are limited, that limitation is not on account of the technology of the domain, rather on account of our own imagination, in which we are not in a position to judge that yes, domain can be applied in this domain as well. That's the kind of versatility and diversity of the domain and drone application. And with that intention, this webinar has been kept, that Mr. Sirajuddin will enlighten us that how and in which way drone technologies are going to touch us in different domain, and how and in which way these drones can be, the potential of the drone technologies can be utilized by all of us. So thank you so much to all the participants having joined from different parts of the country, and would like to listen more from the valued speaker today, that how drone can be utilized for all of us. And believe me, there is a huge research potential, huge potential for a sponsored project, from various funding agencies in this particular technology, because all countries are moving forward that human-based surveillance is not possible. We have to apply the technology, and when they will be applying the technology for the purpose of the monitoring, supervision and surveillance, drone is the de facto and default standards. So thank you so much and wish you all the best. There are many, around 6-7 webinars till 30th of April, which has already been notified, is available on our registration page of the portal. Please go there. If you have not registered, please register for them. Keep attending these webinars, and always, because this webinar series has been started with only one objective, that keep learning despite disruptions all around us. So keep learning despite whatever happens in and around us, and ensure that you stay safe, stay healthy, stay vibrant, and keep attending our programs. Thank you so much. We'll meet again. Over to you, Ayushi.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for inspiring always. I would now welcome amongst us our expert speaker, Mr. Y. Mohammad Sirajuddin, Assistant Professor in the School of Computer Science and Engineering, University, Amravati Campus, Andhra Pradesh. Sirajuddin sir has done specialization in cyber governance, cloud computing, Internet of Things, cyber security, blockchain technology. It is of immense pride that his entire research work was sponsored by the Science and Engineering Research Board, SERB, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. He has more than 20 quality research papers indexed in SCI, Web of Science, and Scopus. While pursuing his PhD, he has guided several UG and PG students to participate in the international and national level hackathon competition, and the students have won several prizes also. In addition to it, he is personally training an 8th standard CBSE student, Mr. Nufail, to participate in competitions conducted by the ISRO and NASA. Not only is this the great intellect, Sirajuddin sir is a registered patent agent in the Indian Patent Office. Adding to this, he has also received appreciation for mentorship SIH Hackathon 2019-2019 UEM Kolkata. We are honored to have you amongst us, sir. I welcome you to this session. I now request you to please enlighten the house. Please, sir.
Thank you for your warm welcome, ma'am. And today's topic is on the art of drone technology. Like in the last 4 years, so many startups has been started in this drone technology. And usually whenever we learn about a new technology, either it might be IoT or blockchain technology, cloud computing, whatever it may be. So what benefit we will be getting from that, learning that particular technology? So that is the first point I would like to deliver to you. So these are my so before getting into the topic, I will just give a small introduction about myself. Like I have trained some students in UG, PG level, so they have participated some international hackathons as well as national hackathon. And he's a student doing his CBSE 8th standard. So he has participated in ISRO competitions, and he wants to work for NASA. So I'm personally training him. And this person, like this Mr. Nufail, has come up with a new come up with a product called MDN Tech Home Automation. So it is IoT based home automation. He's just 13 years kid, and he has come up with the startup idea. So currently I'm advising startups to how they can promote their product, and those things I'm taking care. And before these are the agenda of today's presentation. So when Hudasa speak, and like we will be hearing so many terms related to drone technology. Some people may call it as UAV, which is like what we call unmanned aerial vehicle, or drone technology. And other word we have like unmanned aircraft systems. So often these terms will be correlating drone technology, glider technology, UAV, UAS, all these have minor differences. So before we will have a small definition of what is drone technology, and then we have to know, if I study some new technology, what benefit I will get. So if you learn cloud computing or some IoT based technology, 100% the students will get placed in some IT company, so they can earn. But this drone technology, like we don't have much number of corporate companies to sponsor, or like very few companies are working on this drone technology. So how can you make money after learning this technology? That is very important. So like that is where the startups are lagging. So I just wanted to come up with some important information like that has happened in the last 2 years after the COVID period, how the drone technology startups has improved that, how their sale has improved, and all those information I will give. And then the third agenda of the presentation is like, can I register my own startup company in drone technology? Will that be successful? Because like students from second year, third year, final year, like they used to often ask me like, I don't want to go for an IT company, rather I wanted to start my own company. So that is what they will come, but they don't have, like the students might not have a proper vision of which technology to adapt, and that problem we face when we dealing with the students. So I have just taken two startups that has been doing a very good job in India. One is Garuda Aerospace Private Limited, just like it is a company based on Chennai, and the second one is like IIT Delhi drone startup. We call it as a biotech, like a biotech company. So that is like the second startup from IIT Delhi. And after this, like whatever the technology we involve or whatever the product we bring into that market, the government should support that particular product. With that only, the number of sales can be improved. So recently in the February month, in the last month, the government has announced a ban on importing drones from abroad. So if you search in Amazon or Flipkart, immediately DJI drones you will get. So the cost of the drone will be around 70,000 to 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs. So depend upon the variant they will be charging. So by a government, Indian government has banned importing all such abroad, all such drones which are being delivered from abroad. So completely banned, and that has come to practice from the month of March. From this month, we cannot purchase any foreign branded drone. So why the government is doing that? That we will discuss. And then we always have a problem, like the government has to support the startups to create some new kind of applications and implementation. So for that, drone rule 2021 is recently released, and now we have amendment on that 2021 rule, and now we have a latest rule called drone rules 2022. So if you are purchasing a drone, or if you are starting up a company on drone technology, you have to know a very basic things of drone. So for that, I have just given a small introduction about the drone rules 2021, and then history of drones in India. So how when the Indian Army started using the drone, and then how we can take this drone technology into a commercial part, and all those things we will discuss. And then another important part is like building your own drone. So often we will be attending various seminars and webinars, but the problem in Indian society is like we will not do an hands-on session. So though it is a webinar, I will try to give some hardware requirements, software requirements, how I will just show the how to install the software for drone technology, how you can do programming, autonomous vehicle, how you can create a map out of it, how you can control that particular drone. All those things we will discuss. So this is a small agenda. These are the agendas of this presentation. So straightly we'll go with the definition. So a drone is a flying robot. We know that because you often need to understand the difference between the drone, UAV and UAS. In common, we have different type of drones. You can see in the image you have tricopter, hexacopter, quadrocopter, hybrid wings, single rotor, multi-wings, and also we have gliders kind of thing. All these particular drones will be considered as unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV. So that is what the common term, but the motors, like the drones which has these kind of motors into BLDC motors into it, we call it as a drone. So the general definition of drone technology is drone is a flying robot that can be remotely controlled. So that is a prime objective. If you wanted to differentiate an aeroplane or a helicopter with a drone, what one thing you can compare with the size, and the second thing is like to fly a aeroplane as well as a helicopter, you need a person to drive it. But whereas in your drone technology, you don't need any particular human person to drive it. Instead of that, you can remotely control it. It is not necessary for a person to be there while driving a drone. That is a prime advantage. So that we have different applications. With that, we can come up with some military applications, video photography in forest areas. And recently, 2 weeks back, we had an incident in Kerala. hill climber went to hill climbing and suddenly he struck in that hill for 2-3 days. For that, this photography drones and videography drones are being helpful to monitor his health conditions, and those things have happened just 2-3 weeks back. That has happened in Kerala. So the definition of the drone technology is drone is a flying robot that can be remotely controlled or fly autonomously. That is a very important thing. So because for remotely controlling a human or a ground station is important, but you can make a drone to fly autonomously, which means that you need to do some coding on microprocessor, drone microprocessor, so that your maps will be automatically fetched. For example, if I wanted to fly my drone for 10 kilometers without any controlling, then I can just program my drone in the microprocessor, just program the GPS location so that it can automatically fly without any human intervention. So that is the prime advantage of this drone technology. So this autonomous drones will be very helpful in delivering Amazon package or healthcare product. For example, some people might be living in a tribal area there where the hospital facilities are not there. So in such kind of thing, you can just make the GPS location into it, and you can deliver health things to that particular medicines and those things to that particular tribal area. So these are the research areas which are going in this drone technology, and some applications of drone technology are aerial photography and videography. And now we know that in all marriages, this drone videography has been like it has changed as a mandatory part. And mapping and survey. So I will show an example of a corporation. So there is a corporation in Chennai. So Chennai Corporation has bought a drone to have a mapping and survey. For example, if you wanted to make a survey, village administrative officer has to go to that particular region. But now the Chennai Corporation is turning it into a digital one with drone technology. Instead of sending a village administrative officer to make a surveying and those things, with drones are being used. Drones which is equipped with the cameras, and that can exactly shoot the place. From that, they can do the surveying. And aspect inspection. So if you have any wardrobe or any storage space, then you can go for the asset inspections and those things. And product delivery, as we discussed, like we have Amazon delivery, Amazon drone delivery. So it is still in research. Even in US, it has not been in the market, but soon in another 2-3 years, this will 100% it will come to the market. And agriculture, you could have seen some videos in the YouTubes, like how agriculture like has been improved using this drone technology, how they can improve the quality of that agriculture products and all those things. And bird control, forest animal controls, and all those things are the applications of a drone. So yeah. So now the second point is like, okay, you are spending your time to learn a technology. It might be like drone technology, or you have decided to go with a drone technology, or like you have planned to take a 3 months of course. Then, and you wanted to come up with a start. So how you can approach and how you can find the customers for your company. So that is the prime thing, right? So whatever the technology learn, we have to earn money. So you can see, I have just taken some 5-6 of newspaper article, which is published in 2021 as well as in 22. So this is the first thing. Chennai Corporation uses drone technology to prevent breeding of mosquitoes. So in Chennai, we have a problem like dengue fevers, and those things are a very common problem in Chennai. In most of the metropolitan cities, that is a very common issue. So into July 2021, it's been just 8 months of time. So in this 8 months, the Chennai Corporation has planned to purchase some drones so that they can prevent or they can spray the mosquito killers or something like that, so that they can protect the people from that dengue fevers and all those things. So that is the first thing. And here you have to know that the state governments are ready to purchase some drone components because it is very useful. So they are ready to pay. So you know that usually if they get a DJI drone from Amazon or Flipkart, it might be just 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs. But the Chennai Corporation have purchased 2 drones for 10 lakhs. so that they have some extra advantages. So from the startup called Garuda, they have purchased these drones. And then you can see the second thing, in Chennai Corporation launches drone mapping for properties. As I said, right? So we have a village administrative officer in each locality. So in that locality will be measured by each and every region will be measured by that VOA. But instead of like now the technologies are replacing the work of VOA, like so that using a drone technology, they can map a particular property. And also there is some schemes from government of India. So we have a PLI schemes, which means that the full form of PLI dream is product linked incentive schemes. So for some particular product which is having a good research scope as well as the product scope, the government will give this PLI schemes. They will provide some money so that you can make up your own startup, or you can do research on that particular thing. So like under the Ministry of Civil Aviation, in September 2021, the PLI schemes been announced, so that if you wanted to do any research related to drone technology, definitely you can use this PLI schemes from the Ministry of Civil Aviation. And also we have the center has given so many funding, like for R&D bodies and the universities. They are ready to give enough funding for this drone startup. And then here you can see, and especially I was talking more about Chennai, but in Delhi also, in February 24, 2020, last week, like 2 weeks back, the Delhi police has come up with an idea to improve their drone unit, so that they can, for the monitoring of the cities, they have planned to purchase two drone unit. They are like, there are different units in the police, but now they are starting up, like they are creating a new kind of army using a drone. So that is what the Delhi police are planning. So in another 2 years, definitely the Delhi as well as each and every individual state will have a drone unit to monitor people or monitor the citizens. So that is going to come. So I would say that this is an exact correct time to start a company on drone technology. So it is not like a very rocket science or very difficult thing. It is very easy. Just the basic things, if you are understanding and you can make it, then easily you can take that into a big thing. And then one more important thing. So in 2021 November, so there is the biggest drone product sale in India. So Chennai Police Commission Chennai Police Region has purchased a mobile drone unit. So for 3.60 crore, this is like a nightmare for a startup. So like it is not that easy to get a 3.60 crore, it's almost 3.6 crores of money from a government for selling just 9 drones. So you can just imagine how much the quality of the drones will be. For just 9 drones, they have spent almost 3.6 crores. So this is the thing, like if you start your company or your firm, then definitely you can take that company into a higher position. Like you can make easily like 5 crores per annum as a turnover for your company. So that is a small introduction. And then some UG students or PG students can come up with an idea to start up a drone technology or drone technology based startup. So you can see there is a company called Garuda Aerospace Private Limited. So it has been just started in 2015. It is just 7 years old, but the turnover of that Garuda drone company has reached up to 1 crore. So it is like a very big thing for a startup. So you can check like, and also this Garuda company has been helping the government in various natural disasters. You can see like in the last year, 2021, Uttarakhand flood and those things. This Garuda company, a startup from Chennai, is helping has helped the government of Uttarakhand to do these kind of helping to monitor that people who have suffered from flood and all those things they are doing. And this particular company has also helped in rescuing the person who is like stuck in that hill climbing issues, in Kerala. And also this company, like recently, our Honorable Prime Minister has shared a video about this company, Garuda Aerospace, on his own YouTube channel. So you can just 3 weeks back, he has shared this video. So how this Garuda company has improved the quality of drones in India, how they are competing with the abroad brands, foreign brands, and all those things. Like it's just an 8 minutes of video. You can check in internet. So this is how the government is ready to promote Indian product. So like they are giving so many facilities for the startups. So if you are planning for a good startup, then I would say this is the perfect time to start your company. right? And another company is like it's from IIT Delhi Incubation Center. So she's like Dr. Sarita. She's working in IIT. So she has a company on BotLab Dynamics. So it is a startup company. So recently in in January 26, we had a Republic Day, and in that Republic Day on January 29, this event, like all the news medias were covering this event. Like this is like a combination of 1,000 drones. So they created these kind of interconnected drones to make this kind of images, Indian flag, 75 Republic Day, so all those things. So it's like even if they are startup and like they have got some 50 crores, like 50 lakhs of funding from central government under that incubation center, they are doing this very good stuff in research. So like stuff in this kind of applications and all those things. And so that is what I just wanted to tell, that encourage, like the student has to come up with new startup ideas like this kind of drone technologies. And then another important point. So whatever the company you start, whatever the product you have, the important thing is like the government has to support it. So we have different technologies, but was very good technology, but due to some issues, it has not been come into the practice on banking sectors. So all over the world, that is a problem. But people expected the blockchain technology to rule the sectors, but they have touched that. But when you consider the drone technology, they are ready to fund, and the government is ready to stop they have completely banned the import of drones from abroad. So that is a very good move. Usually, if you are importing a drone cost of 1 lakh, so around 20 to 25% you have to pay as a tax. But now to boost up the startup and to give some extra thing to the startup companies on drone technology, recently, I think in February 2020, 1 month before, they have completely banned these kind of foreign based drones. So only now we can locally manufacture the drone and you can sell it. So you will not have any competitors from foreign companies. So just only the Indian company, you have to compete with only the Indian companies. That is an advantage that the government wants to give for the startup companies. And then now we will discuss about the history of Indian drone technology. So we all say that only in the last 5 years or 6 years, the drone technology has been in practice in commercial thing. But Indian military has used this drone technology in 1999 in Kargil War. So to recognize, to take some snaps from the Pakistani army and those things, for that purpose, in 1999, the government of India under Indian military has used this particular drone technology. And then this was for a military purpose. It is acceptable in a war kind of situation. But in 2014, a Pizza Hut shop from Mumbai, that was the first that particular shop delivered the pizza to the customer using drone technology. It is like a very basic things, like in 2014, like before the India get to know about the drone and its technologies, DJI drones and everything. That was the first attempt. He's an engineer, so he developed his own drone to deliver a pizza to the customer. So it flied around 1.5 kilometers. But immediately in the next 6 months, within the next 6 months, the central government banned the commercial purpose of drones in India. Because at that time we had a rule for civil aviation. Ministry of Civil Aviation was there, so they had a rule for how to fly a flight, helicopter and everything, but there is no proper rule for drone technology and drone product. So as told, like we had so many security issues, as well as there were some issues in Iraq and Iran. There is some bomb blast because of this drone technology, and some in the worldwide it is going some problem. So immediately in 2014, the government banned the commercial drones. So no citizens of Indians can use the drone. But after 2 years of time, in 2017 and 18, the government released the first rule. So with that, they have defined everything in that particular rule, in drone rule 2018. So with that rule, it facilitate the Indian citizen to fly drone in an in customized way. So that is the first rule that has come in India for drone technology. So I'm just telling this thing because like when you come up with a startup idea in drone technology, it is important to know the rules of particular technology and the rules what the Indian government is following. So that is the first thing. And then after 2018 rule in 2021, the month of August, it has been once again amended. And now in the month of February 22, once again, the 21 rule is being amended and we have a very latest rule. And this is an image of the first Indian commercial drone. So you can see there is a pizza under the drone. So it is like it is not a company based drone, just an individual has developed this drone and is been flying. And so this is a newspaper article from bbc.com. In 2014, the police was inquiring how this drones flight and all those things. And within just 1 month, within just 6 months of time in December 2014. So after it was happening in May 2014 and December 24, within just 6-7 months, the Director General of Civil Aviation has just banned the commercial or the civilian drones in India. And later it has been in 2018, 1st December of 2000, exactly after 3 years, the DGCA is the committee, like a Director General of Civil Aviation, is the person who regulate these kind of rules every year. So they control both the real-time aeroplanes, helicopters, as well as the drone technology. Now the drone technology come under the civil aviation department. So they used to regularize these rules and those things. So you can see just in 01 December 2018, they have come up with this technology, like these rules for drones. And then in 2021, it is like most famous one. In 25th August 2021, they have once again changed the previously published rule. And now we have a drone rule 2021. So it will be a standard one. So all the problem we faces in drone technology, what if your drones is being lost, or what if the drone has been misused, or where to register your drone. Similar to our bike registration, car registration, we have to register our drone to that DGCPA. So that is a first immediate. Whenever if you purchase a drone from foreign company, or if you are importing any drone, or if you are developing your own drone, you have to get a permission from DGCA. So all those rules were coming they brought this rules under the drone rule of 2021. And in the last month, they also amended the 2021 rule, and they have given drone amendment rules of 2022. It mostly discuss about the security and the privacy issues with this drone. And now we will slowly start up with the building of a drone. So what are the components you require? So either it may be a quadcopter drone or any tricopter or hexacopter, whatever it may be. So you know the application, what are the applications of a drone? So you have to just pick up with one application or two application. So with that application, you have to develop a drone. For that, what are the hardware requirement you need? So that is a prime thing. So if you are going with a quadcopter, you need a BLDC motor, which is brushless DC motor, 4 numbers of motor. You have to connect that 4 numbers of motor into a frame. So for that, you need a frame. And propeller is nothing but a fan kind of structure, which will help you to lift that particular drone. I will show the images of this BLDC propellers and everything in the next slide. And electronic speed controller. So what actually happens is like this LiPo batteries are very powerful battery, and this BLDC motors are not that so powerful. So when we connect a LiPo battery directly to this BLDC motor, what will happen is like due to that electromagnetic frictions, this BLDC motor will automatically get burns. Like most of the, like you will 90% that motor will get damaged. For that, you need a electronic speed controller. We call it as ESC. So this electronic speed controller, you have to connect your BLDC motor to this electronic speed controller, and the electronic speed controller has to be connected with LiPo battery. So what it will actually do is like it will step down the battery power which is being passed to the BLDC motor. So you can just make a note of it. Like if you are very much interested, you can just make a note of it. So what are the mandatory hardware requirements of a drone? BLDC motor, propeller, frame, electronic speed controller, LiPo battery and charger, microcontroller and flight controller. It is nothing but instead of like if you are good at Raspberry Pi programming or Arduino or Node MCU with the Wi-Fi connectivity or with Bluetooth connectivity, you can just make your own microcontroller. Because like the microcontrollers which are being used for the drone technology. We call it as a Adro Pilot microcontroller or PixWax or something like that. It will be like a little bit cost like 3,000 or 4,000 Indian rupee. So instead of that, if you are having a Raspberry Pi or Arduino kind of thing, then you can just try with that. Instead of using this advanced drone microcontrollers, you can just go with this particular normal microcontrollers like Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is a very good thing. You can do machine learning algorithms on the drone and all those things. If you have a Raspberry Pi, you can just go to that. And we also need a transceiver. So we will be having a controller to control the drones. So a small controller, a black color joystick will be there. So to communicate, to establish a communication between the controller as well as the flying drone, you need a transmitter as well as receiver. So the controller will be having a transmitter and the receiver will be having a receiver. So that frequency, this is nothing but a frequency, 433 megahertz of frequency. So the controller will be transmitting some information, how to fly. It will be instructing the drone how to fly and what decision it has to take and all those things. This particular transceiver will be communicate. It will help the controller to communicate with the drone. And this is a controller, just a normal joystick. And obstacle identification sensor is mandatory for any drone. So that, for example, if a drone is flying high and it might be hitting some trees or some rocks or something might happen. For that, you need an ultrasonic sensor so that you can easily measure what is the distance between the obstacles and your drone. So for that purpose, we will be using this obstacle identifying sensor. And other these three things, GPS, camera, and 3-axis gimbals are not mandatory for a drone. Whereas this improves the quality as well as the application of a drone. So without this GPS, camera, and 3-axis gimbal, you can just create your own drone. You can create. It is not a mandatory thing, but you know what is the purpose of this GPS, global positioning system, which means that you can easily identify in which location of the world, or you can just with the map, Google Map or iMaps, you can easily connect. You can connect with your drone and you can identify in which location your drone has been there. So most of the DJI drones have not most of all the DJI drones will have a GPS. But when you are developing your own drone, depending upon the application, you can just decide whether to go with GPS or not. Similarly, we have camera. So like a camera, probably most of the startups will be using small cameras like 4,000, 5,000. But for your personal purpose, you can use up to GoPro cameras or like more than that. It depends upon your budget. You can take any kind of small cameras into it. And then 3-axis gimbal. So to have a very good quality of videograph or the video which we shot using a drone, for that we use a 3-axis gimbal. So I will just give a small example, because like if you are going to purchase this particular components in some shops and those things, then what will happen is like you cannot like there is some like, because my students went to a shop and they wanted to purchase these components individually. At that time they face some issues. So for that there is some companies called there is some online website like robo.in, and some you can just check in internet. So with that you can easily so I'll just show that. So they will give us a combo kind of thing. There is a website called FlyRobo and rcmumbai.com and electronics.com. So these are the website. It's a very predominant website. Like you can trust that website. I have purchased so many products from that website. You can just go to that website and you can just purchase those components. So like due to some privacy issues, it is not entering, but in yeah. So you can just go to that website and check that. I'll just put this thing in the chat box once this session is over. And then this is a small example of a drone component. So you can see here, this is the BLDC motor. So it is like a quadcopter. and the frames are built manually. Like they haven't purchased these frames in any online thing. So what they have done is like they have created a stainless steel, very lightweight stainless steel over here, and in which they have connected all the above mentioned components. The first part is like a BLDC motor. So we have normally the small cars and remote cars will be having a small motor, right? So that motor is not a BLDC motor, but for drone we have a BLDC motor, which is the full form of BLDC motor, is brushless DC motor. So we have to use this BLDC motors because the payload of the drone will be very high. So when we use a normal motor, it is not possible to uplift or lift that particular weight. So for that, it is mandatory to go with BLDC motor. If you go with a normal DC motor, or for sure it will not fly. So that you have to go with the BLDC motor. The cost of the one BLDC motor will be around 400 to 500. And then here you can see a small yellow color chip. So this is, we call it as a ESC, electronic speed controller. So what happened is like beneath this particular drone frame, there is a LiPo battery. You can see 1500 mAh LiPo battery. Usually we will be using 2000 mAh, but here in this drone they have used like 1500 mAh. This battery should not be connected directly with the BLDC motor, because the BLDC motor will just take 20 amps of power. But when you directly give this LiPo battery into this drone, in this motor, automatically it will burst out. So instead of that, we need a component called ESC, electronic speed controller. You have to connect the battery with this electronic speed controller, and the electronic speed controller has to be connected with the BLDC motor. And this is this black color thing is like black color wing is, we call it as a propeller. So which will help you to lift your drone. And then we have a small GoPro camera. GoPro camera is very costly, but you can find a camera for 4,000, 5,000 rupees in online. As well as we have other things are like, we'll be having a small GPS, MediaTek GPS, which will help you to identify where your drone is actually is. Usually it is not a mandatory one to have a GPS, but for some kind of advanced technology like follow up me drone, or some autonomous vehicles, autonomous drones, like you will be just giving them GPS locations on that microprocessor. There will be a small microprocessor here. So it might be an AdroPilot microprocessor, or it might be a Pixwack microprocessor. These are the two predominant companies that are available in India. So either you can go with those microcontrollers, and that microcontrollers you have to connect to your GPS. So what it will do is like the microcontroller will be having the GPS location. When you just start your drone, it will just locate to that GPS location. So you know that GPS is not GPS is like, it doesn't require internet connection. So that is the prime advantage of GPS. So it will automatically go to that particular location, and from that it will start program, like going from one point to other point as your map is being planned. So that is the these are the important components in the drone technology. So drone development. So once you get all these components, within 3 hours or 4 hours of time, you can just build your own drone. And one more thing is, in drone technologies, like we have a very, very, very minimum amount of patents in India. So for all these kind of designs, we have 4 frames and motors and those things, right? So if we wanted to create a frame which is of 5 legs or 6 legs or something like that, you can just draw a diagram and you can just go for a design diagram, because the competition is very less. Very in India, you can just it is the maximum of 10 startups are working in this drone technology. So when you go for some other product, some other startups like mobile app development, or other cloud-based startups, or educational institute-based startups, all those things will be having a heavy number of competitions. Like it will have a heavy competitions. But when you go with the drone technology, the technology is new, and it does not, like, it is just 2 years or 3 years old in India. Now people have started using it, like for marriages and everything, right? So for that, you can just go with this kind of technology. And to develop a single drone with a normal cost, it will be like around 12,000 to 15,000, but you can sell that particular drone for 35 or 40,000. So like that kind of advantage you will get with this particular drone kind of thing. And there is a small video. I will just share this YouTube link. You can just check how to connect the quadcopter assembly. These videos are available in YouTube because like it's just 1 hour of time. So I cannot spend too much of time on this hardware part. So in YouTube, all these frames and everything is available. You can just make a connection out of it.
Hello all.
Yeah.
This video is on quad.
So, and now another important part is like when you take a drone technology, there is two kind. You can you can make like 70% of thing is like hardware part and other 30 is software part. So now we are integrating the hardware as well as the software. So once you connect all the components like BLDC motor and whatsoever. So once it is connected, it will not automatically fly. You need to feed the firmware or the code for this particular for the particular thing. So here, these are the some free software that is available. You can just download it from the internet. These are the different type of free software available. We have APM planner, machine planner, Q control, Q ground control planner, WebODM, and DJI ground station is like it will support only the DJI drones, which is like a foreign brand. So that only that particular drone will be supported in DJI ground board. So you cannot go with some controller like Raspberry Pi or some other thing. Only the DJI microprocessor will be working in this DJI Ground Station Pro 2.0. And there is a software called MicMac. So these are the free softwares. Usually I used to work with this Mission Planner software. I will just give a small demo on Mission Planner and thing. And if you wanted to take your drone technology with some machine learning algorithm, some advanced kind of cyber security as well as cyber algorithm, then you can go for Arion or Altavian and Skydio. So these are the paid softwares. So you have to pay software, pay money to that to use this software. So it will be around 30,000 or 40,000 per year. So these are those softwares like companies like surveying companies and some advanced people will be using the software, or else for the basic level it is best to go with this free softwares. So this is a small APM planner. So APM planner supports both only Windows. It does not support Ubuntu systems or any Linux system. So this is a small simulator. You can just install this machine planner version 1.3.37. So you will get these kind of images. So what this particular machine planner is about is like after connecting your drone, you have to feed a code or a firmware to this particular microcontroller or a microprocessor. So either like we will take this Adro Pilot as a microcontroller. It's a small device similar to your Raspberry Pi. So you have to feed a code how it should work. So depending upon that, for example, if you wanted to tilt your drone, then the left and right side of your like the second and fourth wing of your drone has to little bit slow down its speed, as well as the other two motors has to increase the speed. So all these program will be set using this software. We call it as a machine planner 1.3.37. You can just download this from internet, and then it will have a heads-up display. So when you connect your microcontroller into this, you can just monitor how the calibrations and how it is turning, and all those can be seen in this hood display. We call it as a hood display, heads-up display thing. And then you can also connect your drone with your Google Maps. So it is just Google Map. When you connect, and you should recover you recover a GPS for this accessing this maps and everything. So once you connect this, it will automatically detect using the GPS. It will automatically detect the locations, and then automatically that location will be booted on the screen. And then, so these are some of the steps involved in Machine Planner. Load the firmware, that is an important thing. So we have Pixvac software. So with that software, with that microcontroller, we have to feed the software into it. So some important steps are set up, configure, tune your vehicle, because like there is a problem, calibration problem might occur, which means that one side of your drone might be having too much of weight and other might be having a less weight. At that time, the calibration will not be good. So that you have to calibrate or tune your vehicle. So that is what you will be doing in the Machine Planner. Plan, save, and load autonomous. So in this Machine Planner, they give a minimal support for autonomous vehicle, which means that for nearby location within 1 kilometer or maximum of 2 kilometer, you can just create autonomous missions, which means that you can set 4 or 5 points in that, so that you can automatically, the drone will start traveling to that particular point. So that is the advantage of this Machine Planner, but it is just within a 2 kilometer of range. And you can also download and analyze the mission log, which means that your drone will be traveling to multiple places, as well as if it is a delivery kind of drone or any agriculture based drone, you have to monitor the performance as well as the battery capacity and everything. For that, you can download the mission logs you can store the mission logs up to 30 days in a single drone using this mission planner software. And then you can just download the mission log and you can make some analytics over it. And if you get a good amount of data, you can make some machine learning product out of that. So that is these are the things that you can do with the mission planner. And then we have a interface with the PC flight simulator and these are the very basic things about the softwares. So it can monitor the vehicle status, it can record the telemetry logs wherever it has gone in the last 30 days, that thing. And you can analyze, analyze the telemetry logs, and it also gives a first person view in that hood display. So that is a very advanced thing in that mission planner software. And then just installation step, you can just download this mission planner for Windows 64-bit as well as for 32-bit from internet, and then you can just start installing that particular software. So it will ask about the drivers and everything. So if you have a DirectX installation, it will automatically get installed and things will be done. Just like next button, automatically it will adjust them. And also this mission planner is giving us support for Android mobile application. They have a Android mobile application, the name of mission planner. If you don't have a computer if you are in a rural area and if you don't have an internet and proper laptop kind of thing, you can just download this Android application. You can connect your microprocessor, PixWack microprocessor using an normal C-type cable or normal USB cable, and you can just feed the code from that particular mobile itself. It is not necessary that you need a laptop to control the entire thing. Using the mobile itself, you can just upload the code to that particular drone. And then for Linux, they have given, this is a very recent one, to in earlier side I told it is only used for Windows machine. So operating system, it supports Windows, but they are planning this mission planner software is being developed for Linux in distribution as a mono software. So it is it is not that accurate. Mono software is not accurate in Linux. It's better to go with the Windows machine itself, but in future they might be coming up with some advanced mono operation. So you can see that Mono mission planner is developed for Windows because it has a .exe file, but they are trying with an advanced thing with the Linux OS. So it will give some continuous error in that issues. And then, so this is a small image of your PixWack microcontroller. It will be similar to your, what do you call, Raspberry Pi device, similar device. So you can check that these are the telemetry connections. You have to connect with the BLDC motors and all the decisions. This is like a heart of your drone. So all the decision which it receives from the controller will be stored in the PixWack microprocessor, and this microprocessor will be instructing all the motors and all the components that are connected to that particular PixWack. So it is like a decision authority. So if I wanted to increase the speed of 2 motors and reduce the speed of other 2 motors, then what I have to do is I have just this PixWack using the controller. The controller like joystick will be sending the information to this PixWack's microprocessor, and from this port your motors as well as your batteries will be connected. From there you can easily control all the motors. So that is how it works. And you can see there is a small USB 2.0 pin. So you have to connect this port into using a USB to your computer. You can just connect with this particular thing and you can work. And also it supports telemetric radios, as we discussed, like 433 megahertz of telemetry device it will be having. And it also supports Bluetooth and IP connectivity. And so you can just connect like this. This is your computer, and your computer is having a mission planner software. Just using a USB cable, you can connect your PixWack software. That's it. And then you can just upload. So this is the steps which is involved to upload the cable. After connecting, you will be having to which port you have connected. So that information will be given here. COM port, and this is like what we call it as a baud rate. So how much speed the data has to be transferred from your computer to your microprocessor. That is what they have given. So you can choose depending upon the quality of your wire connected to your computer to your microprocessor, you can choose this. So if you have a very good quality, you can go for 115200 speed, baud rate of speed, or else you can go with 57600. So these kind of things. So that just you need to connect it, and after connecting through COM port 4, you can see just you need to click the connect port and it will be connected. And then we have a machine planning setting up. So this is for setting how much data has to be transferred from your things to from your computer to your process and all those packets, bits, and all those things. So for all the things, it is a thing. For all the microcontroller, the settings will be almost same. And then there is a term called protocol. So computer science and IT based people, students would have known about what is a protocol. We have a joystick, and that joystick is being transferring the data to the drone so that the drone is acting according to it. So for that, we need a proper security protocol, as well as the data transmission should be very much perfect. For that, we have a Mavlink 2 protocol. So there is a dedicated protocol that is being developed for drone. So this is a Mavlink 2 protocol. And then there's like a detailed one of how the protocol has been used, how the data is being stored in that particular packets, and how it will be transferred from the joystick to the what we call to the drone, and all those things will be this is the thing. So Maverick frame, so it will be having 8 of 263 bytes of data. So start frame and all those similar to the computer data packets. This is like a Maverick frame, one frame. So all this information will be there, and that information will be traveling to the drone. And then this is how it acts. So you have a hood up display and the computer connected, and then you have to use a controller to control this particular drone. So initially what it will do is like using a Mavlink protocol, automatically the controller will be sending some heartbeat every 1 second or 2 seconds. Yeah, the drone has to respond to your controller. If it is not responding, which means that your drone is not connected properly, and that problem will occur. And then we have a request data stream and sending data and receiving data acknowledgement, all those. This is how the data has been transferred from your hood up display from your controller to your drone. So these are the different type of microprocessor that are available that supports this particular machine planner Mavlink protocols. And then this is like selecting a COM port and transferring the data. And once again, we have an important firmware setup. So in the third point, in the software, you have flight data. So all your logs will be there. In flight plan, you can just give the GPS location for autonomous mode of transaction. And then we have an initial setup. After connecting your microprocessor with your drone, you just need to click initial setup. And these are the different type of drones that is available in this particular software. You can go for adrocopter, quadcopter kind of thing, hexacopter or octacopter. So octacopter is nothing but an eight motors that is being connected. You have a helicopter kind of thing, and a tricopter, and 6 copters, we call it as hexacopter, and adrocopter or octocopter. So these are the different software already is being programmed, and it is being stored in the machine planner software. Just you need to click that, and you have to upload that. And after uploading, you will get an information like your data has been uploaded to the microprocessor, and things will done. But after that, you have to do some calibration process. Usually calibration process, we cannot explain. We have to give a live demo for that. But it's just a 1 hour. We don't have that much time, and I don't have the drone components now. So like you can just go and check in this configuring and tuning thing, where you can easily find out what is calibration and all those things. So I think with this, I can wind up the session. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me now.
Thank you so much, sir, for the
thank you.
enlightening deliberation. You explained it very nicely, and I am getting responses very well presented. So thank you so much, sir. I am sure
Thank
this
you.
insightful session would have enlightened the participants about the drone application. And now there are some questions that I would like to take up on with your permission.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I, sir?
No.
Okay. So first question is, how will drone technology continue to take a leading edge over other technologies?
This is like a very new technology in India. So always we cannot we cannot compare any technology with drone technology. Only with the application we get, that matters. For example, if you are working with blockchain technology, cloud computing technology, only a set of people will get advantage. For example, blockchain technology, banking sector might get advantage. Or if you are working with cloud computing technology, only IT people and some educational based people will get advantage over that. But this drone technology is for all. any people who's living in the Chennai corporation can get the benefit of this drone technology by stopping the dengue, or even in that Kerala incident, he's staying in that hill for 2 days, and the people the Indian Army has helped him to take from that particular place. So each and every individual in India will get benefit of this technology. That is the advantage. The customers will gradually, the customers will rapidly grow. That is the advantage of this drone technology.
Okay, thank you, sir. The other question is, are drones following the e-auto industry technological trajectory or following its own?
Drone, they are following the technology only. Like we have recently, I come up with the drone technology to clean up the solar power point. So in Tamil Nadu, we have a solar power plant, but in that power cells, like in the solar panel, it is not easy to clean every day. So for that, they have come up with this drone technology, and that is very useful. So with this, like they have so many applications in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the last question I would like to take, sir, the participants want you to address the challenges of the drone
Yeah,
technology.
that is very important. Just the drone technology, it has a various advantages, whereas it has a very dangerous problem also. First problem in drone technology is cybersecurity. So it is very much easy to hack a drone. That is the problem. So if I am let me tell this. If I am controlling my drone with 433 megahertz of transceiver, so it is very much easy to hack that 433 transceiver signal. So it is very easy to hack that thing. So that kind of problem, I might be having my own drone. I might be controlling that, but at the same time, some other person might control, and for that, I might be paying, or I might be facing some issues from that. So that kind of problem is a thing. And the second challenge is it needs a lot of improvement in machine learning. Because in recent Republic Day parade, I think in Maharashtra or something, they planned some drone based Republic Day celebration, but accidentally it fell on some particular person without some reason. So it has to be improved. The hardware part, batteries, as well as the software part has to be improved in the drone technology. And the major problem you can work on, the research scholars and the master students can work on, is battery. So whatever the drone you purchase, only it can fly for 20 to 30 minutes maximum. So even if you put a 3000 mAh battery power, they can fly up to 30 minutes. But when you plan for a delivery kind of thing to a tribal person, the drone might be in a place to travel for 3 hours or 4 hours. So that might be a problem. That are the reason research challenges we are facing in the drone technology. So that has to be improved, battery powers and those things.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for
Thank you,
addressing
ma'am.
the
Thank you.
questions.
Hope
I
the
would,
session is useful for the students as well as the.
yes, sir. I
Yeah.
would now request Professor Huda, sir, to kindly present a certificate to Mr. Y. Muhammad Sirajuddin, sir, as a token of remembrance. Please, sir.
Mr. Sirajuddin, it has been a wonderful and an outstanding talk. I know the drone technology subject is ever evolving and so open that even a week-long workshop probably may fall short on explaining all these technologies. But the purpose of this webinar have fully been served by ensuring that you have created an interest. And that's how I keep on saying that the diversity of the application of the drone is huge. And when the diversity of application is huge, it at one end when helps to the defense people, at the other end it helps to the farmer, maybe for spraying in their crop and monitoring of the crop or etc. Or in last election, particularly in UP election, this Avara Pashu was a big issue, and probably drone could have solved the purpose of monitoring it and then guiding the farmers that to this side you go, because these all uncontrolled animals are coming from this side, and that then could have been controlled. That's the kind of application. So thank you so much for enlightening all of us and serving the purpose for which this program was organized. And this certificate is not for the purpose of certification, rather for the purpose of your remembrance that you have been part of this excellent webinar under IEEE and BBI Camp series. So thank you so much, and we'll meet again for a detailed program.
Thank you so much, sir, for calling me and for this.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Subrata sir, for joining us. Thank you, Sirajuddin sir, Subramaniam sir. I thank all the respected panelists for joining us. I also thank our participants who have been continuously supporting us, joining us, taking time for us, and joining the webinar to gain more and more. So big thank you to all who have joined us. Thank you.
आयुषी, आज
Thank you
हमारे
for
साथ
joining.
प्रोफेसर PS ग्रोवर साहब भी हैं.
Good evening, Grover sir. A very pleasant
मैं
evening.
हमेशा कहता हूँ ग्रोवर साहब जब प्रोफेसर थे दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी कंप्यूटर साइंस में, जब मैं MCA का स्टूडेंट था अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी में, एंड इट इज अ मैटर ऑफ
Yes.
प्रिविलेज ऑफ having Professor Grover again and again in many of our program. Thank you so much, Grover sir.
Thank you for joining, sir. Thank you so much.
Raji, you are really doing a human service to the academic community.
Sir, thank you so much. Thank you.
घर बैठे बैठे ही स्वर बना देते हो.
हाँ, हमने कहा सर टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करके कनेक्ट करें, और जो प्रोसेस शुरू किया, दैट लर्निंग मस्ट हैपन एंड इंफॉर्मेशन मस्ट बी डिसेमिनेटेड, and now technology can be used for that purpose. Earlier it was very difficult to connect speakers from outside the state, but now it has become easy. And you might be remembering when we were working for CSI in Delhi chapter, almost every week there used to be an outreach program at India International Center, and every month a program followed by dinner. And when I meet to those old friends of CSI and other organizations, they keep on asking me, सर वो कब दिन लौटेंगे? वो तो अब होता नहीं. हमने कहा वो दिन नहीं लौटेंगे, लेकिन अब बेटर मैग्नीट्यूड, बेटर प्रोग्राम्स ऑनलाइन करेंगे, एंड दैट व्हाट वी आर डूइंग. सो थैंक यू सो मच. आप जैसे लोग ज्वाइन करते हैं और हमें इंकरेजमेंट मिलती रहती है, और हम अच्छे प्रोग्राम करते रहते हैं.
Thank you very much, Huda ji. You are a pioneer in this delivery technology. People will always be thankful to you. घर में बैठे कहाँ ही कुछ मिलता है, इतना कुछ जो दे रहे हो.
जी जी, कोशिश रहती है कि बिल्कुल टू द पॉइंट टेक्निकल टॉक, जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं फ्रॉम ऑल ओवर कंट्री एंड अब्रॉड.
देखो मैं कितना रिलैक्स बैठा हुआ हूँ. अगर
जी.
मैं आपके सेमिनार में आता अभी भारतीय इंस्टीट्यूट में, तो सब कुछ तैयार व्यार हो गया था.
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
अब मैं
आने के लिए 1 घंटे, तैयार होने के लिए 1 घंटे, और फिर थोड़ी मेरे साथ बातें करते, चाय पीते, उसमें 1 घंटे, और फिर प्रोग्राम अटेंड करें. So technology has saved many things, and then probably many times you might have thought कि अब आज इस हफ्ते नहीं जाना, but अब आप आसानी से अटेंड कर सकते हैं सर.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सही बात.
आज हमारी टीम में हमारे साथ डॉक्टर रितिका को आप मिस कर रहे होंगे, कॉलेज में प्रोग्राम चल रहा होगा.
मैं वही देख रहा
खत्म
हूँ.
हुआ है.
आयुषी है, ब्रिटिका नहीं है.
हमारे कोऑर्डिनेटर्स की टीम में आयुषी, जो जर्नलिज्म डिपार्टमेंट हमने शुरू किया है, so Ayushi has joined us. She has close to 10 years experience in different colleges of IP. जर्नलिज्म डिपार्टमेंट में ज्वाइन किया है. सो बहुत सारे एंकर्स हैं. आयुषी इज वन ऑफ द एंकर फॉर दीज प्रोग्राम्स.
हुडा कोई नया डिपार्टमेंट शुरू किया है क्या?
जी सर, जर्नलिज्म का डिपार्टमेंट शुरू किया है सर हमने.
कौन सा?
जर्नलिज्म एंड मास कम्युनिकेशन.
जर्नलिस्ट का. वेरी गुड वेरी गुड.
जी,
बहुत वो तो बहुत
मैंने कहा कि अब जर्नलिज्म भी बिना आईटी के काम नहीं चलता.
हाँ सही बात है.
आईटी इंस्टीट्यूट इम्पार्शियल जर्नलिज्म पे काम करेगा.
बिल्कुल, बहुत अच्छा है.
बड़ी डिबेट आजकल हो रही है, मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया की क्या जिम्मेदारियां हैं, और मीडिया क्या था और कहाँ पहुंच गया, क्या हम लेफ्टिस्ट हो गए या राइटिस्ट हो गए, तो हमें क्या करना चाहिए. हमने कहा हम पहले डिपार्टमेंट शुरू करते हैं. टेक्नोलॉजिस्ट बहुत दिए हैं, अब जरा जर्नलिस्ट देते हैं. और आपको खुशी होगी कि ये टीचर्स ने जिम्मेदारी ली है कि बच्चों को काम देके, और भारतीय न्यूज का यूट्यूब चैनल चलेगा सर.
वेरी नाइस. तो नहीं, यूट्यूब चैनल तो आप चला ही रहे हो.
वो तो बीबीआई कैंप का चला रहे सर. बीबीआई कैंप का चला रहे कि टेक्निकल लेक्चर जो लोग अटेंड नहीं करते, उनमें से बहुत सारे लोगों ने मुझे मैसेज किया कि सर वो लेक्चर मैं मिस कर गया, लेकिन कोई रिकॉर्डिंग है तो मुझे दीजिए, मैं लेक्चर सुनना चाहता हूँ, पीपीटी भेजिए. तो अब बहुत बार बहुत सारे स्पीकर्स की पीपीटी बहुत कॉपीराइट या कुछ ऐसे इश्यूज होते हैं, तो हमने इसे यूट्यूब के थ्रू डिसमिनेट करना शुरू किया. हम रिकॉर्डिंग अवेलेबल है भाई, रिकॉर्डिंग एक्सेस करो आप. सो गुड नंबर ऑफ व्यूज आर कमिंग, क्लोज टू 37,000 प्लस व्यूज हैव ऑलरेडी कम, including your session also on NBA and many other FDPs. वो सारे ऑनलाइन है सर.
राइट.
अब ग्रोवर सर अगर कहीं मना कर देंगे लेक्चर देने से किसी कॉलेज को कि इस हफ्ते नहीं आऊंगा, तो आपका लेक्चर बीबीआई कैंप में जो दिया आपने वो उनको अवेलेबल है सर.
बिल्कुल सही बात है यार. आजकल वो बहुत एक लेक्चर बहुत चीज चल रही है. synthetic data and social welfare, AI, synthetic data and AI for social welfare.
जी सर,
ये आजकल काफी इस पर एक्टिविटी
आपका
चल रही
लेक्चर
है।
रखते हैं एआई फॉर द सोसाइटी,
सोसाइटी और सोशल वेलफेयर।
सोशल वेलफेयर, ठीक है।
हाँ।
आपका लेक्चर रखते हैं मई में,
हाँ।
30 अप्रैल तक तो मैंने लेक्चर शेड्यूल कर रखा है। आप मेरा शेड्यूल देखिए सर,
भेजिए, मैं
दो
देखूंगा।
महीने एडवांस शेड्यूल की बुकिंग होती है। जैसे एम्स में लोगों को जल्दी अपॉइंटमेंट नहीं मिलता,
हाँ।
तो वैसे हमारे यहाँ जब मेरे पास रिक्वेस्ट आती है ये लेक्चर शेड्यूल करना है, तो मैं उनको कहता हूँ अब मई का स्लॉट अवेलेबल है, मार्च अप्रैल
तो चलो मई में मेरा कर दो।
मई में करता हूँ आपका।
ठीक है।
आज ही कोई मेरे फ्रेंड थे, वो कह रहे जल्दी करा लो, इतना देर क्यों कर रहे हैं, कोविड आ जाएगा। मैंने कहा कि मेरे वेबिनार की ब्यूटी तो कोविड में ही नजर आती है।
हाँ, वही तो, उसी का तो
जब
फायदा
सब घर
हुआ।
पे रहते हैं तो ज्यादा ब्यूटी नजर आती है। और आपको याद है पिछले साल हमने कोविड में बहुत एफडीपी की।
सही बात है, बिल्कुल। मैं तभी तो कह रहा हूँ कि आप जंगल में मंगल कर देते हो।
कोशिश कर रहे हैं सर। So thank you so much. You joined us, and that's a matter of motivation to all of us. Dear
मैं-
participants, this